Tesla, another stock we're watching today, up a whopping 600% so far this year as the company outperforms during this pandemic and as investors continue to pour money into the electric vehicle space. Now, the stock's most recent breakout came last month following news that it would be included in the S&P 500 index. And today we're getting details on just how Tesla will be added to the index and what that would mean for investors. Yahoo Finance's Emily McCormick is here with those details. Hi, Emily.
Hi, Alexis. And as you mentioned, Tesla is set to be the largest company ever added to the S&P 500. That company will join the index before the open of trading on Monday, December 21st, based on its closing prices from Friday, December 18th. Now, we don't yet know what company specifically Tesla will be replacing in the index, although that is set to be announced in mid-December. Now, importantly, Tesla is going to be added all at once into the S&P 500. Remember that S&P Dow Jones indices had considered an unprecedented move of adding the company in multiple phases, given its massive market capitalization of around $550 billion. Now, the company is set to be the sixth largest company in the S&P 500. It has since pulled ahead of Berkshire Hathaway by market capitalization, and its index weighting is expected to be a bit more than 1%. So going to be up there among some of those big tech names that are among the highest weighted in this index itself. Now, taking a look at the stock, Tesla is adding to its year-to-date gains today. It's trading just higher by about 1.5% in intraday trading. The stock has risen more than 40% since November 16th. That's the day that S&P Dow Jones indices first announced that the company would be included in the S&P 500. And even before that, we had seen the stock pop starting in the spring and summer on speculation that it would get added to the index. And those rumors only started to accelerate even further after the company delivered its fourth straight quarterly profit back in July. Now, a lot of optimism around getting added to an index, of course, has to do with the fact that more investors are going to have exposure to Tesla's stock. Around $11.2 trillion in assets are benchmarked to the S&P 500. So a huge opportunity here for investors who may have stayed on the sidelines when it came to actually entering a position in Tesla shares specifically to actually get in here via an index fund or mutual fund that tracks the S&P 500. So it will be interesting to see how this stock trades in the weeks leading up to December 21st. Always an interesting one to watch here, Alexis.
Will be for sure. We've been watching it. We'll continue to. Emily McCormick, thank you.
So you are with Tesla 2.5 times bigger than BMW, VW, and Daimler.
I even said the stock is too high. I mean, what am I supposed to do? You know, like,
have you ever considered to buy?
The stock is too high a long time, like when it was like at $800 pre-split. And they don't listen to me, but you know, I tell you. And the SEC complained again. I mean, like, you know.
Is it a serious option to buy one of the incumbents, one of the big car companies for you?
Well, I think we're definitely not going to launch a hostile takeover. So I suppose if there was someone...
But a friendly one.
If somebody said, hey, we think it would be a good idea to merge with Tesla, we'd certainly have that conversation. But, you know, we don't want to, you know, be a hostile takeover sort of situation.
Did you feel a lot of complacency these days that the incumbents then let you feel that you are, I mean, the kind of hopeless disruptor, but they know how to do it, or were they very polite and nice with you?
Do you mean back then or now?
Back then?
Oh, no.
Today everybody's
super nice. I would not say they were super, no. Yeah, we were difficult to characterize their response as super nice. They used a lot of adjectives. I don't think any of them were positive. So
we
really tried hard to convince a lot of companies. Honestly, I was in so many panels, but they generally was, generally the sentiment that was expressed that you mentioned earlier, that was pretty much universal, especially. Back in, say, 2008 or 2007, like when we first unveiled the Roadster in 2007, yeah, I mean, it was just basically, they just said, well, you're basically a bunch of fools. Well, I mean, generally they would say, like, well, starting a car company is crazy, you're going to lose all your money. I was like, I think I probably will lose all my money, I agree. It wasn't like I thought it would be successful. I thought we had maybe a 10% chance of success. So then people would say, it's going to fail and you're going to lose lose everything. I was like, yeah, probably true. Yeah. What else is new?
When autonomous driving will be approved, and you said, I do not care so much when it's going to be approved, I care more when human beings in cars will be forbidden. And then the guy said, well, that's totally unrealistic. It's never going to happen in cars. People want to do something actively. And then you said, well, 100 years ago, nobody could imagine elevator without a lift boy. Today, nobody could imagine a lift with a lift boy.
Yeah.
When are you able to do it, and when is it going to be approved?
Okay, just between us.
Yeah, it's a very discreet circle here. Yeah.
So, well, first of all, I'm not against people driving, to be clear. So I think people will drive cars basically as far into the future as I can imagine. It's just that it's going to be increasingly unusual to drive your own car. And while it's fun to drive, a well-handling car on a winding road in beautiful terrain, of course that's fun. But it's not fun to drive a car in terrible gridlock traffic. Like, going through extreme traffic, that's no fun driving a car. So I think people are unlikely to, most of the time, want to commute or with their and drive themselves. And people are typically spending an hour and a half a day, maybe 2 hours on average driving. Especially, say, in like California or something like that, it's very common. And some people will actually commute like 3 hours a day. Sometimes it's pretty crazy. So, I think if you say fast forward to like 10 years from now, I think 10 years from now, almost all cars will have full autonomy capability. All new cars produced. So there's about 2 billion cars and trucks in the existing fleet, and the new vehicle production is about 5% of the fleet size, so about 100 million. So even to the point at which all cars are autonomous, it'll still take 20 years to replace all the cars, assuming that the number of cars and trucks in the fleet stays constant. But like say 10 years from now, I would say vast majority of cars electric, like maybe 70-80% or more, and almost all cars autonomous. Electric autonomy is absolutely the future, no question. It's just a question of when. But then, like I said, sometimes people think that means the global fleet gets replaced instantly. And it's like, nope, you have to go 20 years beyond that point before, 20 years from the point at which new cars are electric, then the fleet will be replaced. This is just an important, it's not like, sometimes people are used to like mobile phones and that kind of thing. It's like 2-year or 3-year replacement rate, but cars are a much more expensive asset, a longer life. Anyway, to actually answer your question, I'm extremely confident of achieving full autonomy and releasing it to the Tesla customer base next year. Now, there's a uncertain period of time for when regulatory approval will take. How long will it take? But I think if you are able to accumulate billions of kilometers of autonomous driving, then it's difficult to argue and look at the accident rate when the car is autonomous versus non-autonomous. And in fact, our statistics already show a massive difference when the car is on autopilot or not on autopilot. If the safety is much greater even with the current autopilot software.
And we are discussing level 5 autonomy, so really full autonomy. Will Europe lag behind, or will it be approved here at the same time like in America or China?
It's hard to say exactly when it will be approved. I mean, just and our customers already know this, but the EU regulators are the most conservative. And I don't know if people want that to be the case or not. Our customers are sort of unhappy about it. But yeah, they only meet every 6 months. It's a bit of an arduous. Yeah. Maybe meet more often, I don't know. But I think at least some jurisdictions will allow full self-driving next year.